Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. For those of you that are new to the channel, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be going over truing / lapping some scope rings because we got the new scope rings and we took them and tested them out a little bit and the scope was still sliding through the rings. So they need to be lapped and we're going to do that here in a minute. So let's get started. Okay, so first things first, what we're going to be using is a Wheeler Engineering scope mounting kit. That's everything that you see here. This is the 30mm and the 1-inch scope mounting kit. And the first thing that we have to use is the alignment bars, which are missing right here. So here are the alignment bars, and I'll throw up some pictures. They look pretty close, but they're not exactly where they need to be. The problem that I think we were running into is that it really seemed like the most contact surface was just on the edge of the rings here for both sides and both rings. So what we're going to do is we're going to lap these rings and increase the contact surface on the inner surface of the rings and hope that it fixes our problem with the scope sliding through. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to actually lap the rings, which is what you see here. This is the lapping bar, and this is 220 grit lapping compound, and it comes in the kit. This is the Wheeler Engineering lapping compound. You just take this stuff here and you smear this on the lapping bar and /or the inside of these rings here. And we're going to tighten down the rings to where they're just snug. They're not going to be tight, they're just going to be touching the lapping bar, and so that we know that it's going to be snug with the lapping bar through this process. So we're just going to run this back and forth in kind of a circular motion here, and then once this loosens up enough, we'll tighten the rings down just a little bit more and then repeat the process until we've got about 80% contact surface on the inside of the rings or so. So let's get started. Okay, so we've got the lapping bar ready. We got the compound on the inside of the rings, so we just want to start working that compound around and loosening it up. It'll be tight at first because you're working on getting that material removed, but then it'll loosen up over time. And once you start to loosen things up, you may have to tighten these rings down a little bit as you go, because they will loosen up, but it takes time. They don't loosen up very quickly. I'm just doing this for demonstrative purposes. If I can get this stupid key to work. Come on. There we go. But yeah, so it can be a time-consuming process. You just want to make sure that you are consistent with your strokes and just keep working away the material until you get the results that you desire. And you may have to add more lapping compound as you go along. It just depends on how much material you're planning on removing. Okay guys, so we're done lapping the rings, and when you get done, you will probably notice a very significant difference in the rings. So for instance, here you can clearly tell that it highly favored one side. So when you get done, you'll be able to see that there was obviously a discrepancy. In our case, the scope was sliding because clearly there was more material on this side than there was this side, and so we removed some of this and even things out a little bit. I think this will be okay for our purposes. If not, we'll come back and do the process again and remove as much as needed to get the desired results. But really just take off as much as you feel you need. Just make sure you don't take off so much that the sides basically contact before they squeeze down on the scope, because then your rings are going to be useless. But yeah, so that's how you lap the rings. And if you guys enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and if you want to support the channel, buy some coasters.